Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rechakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And, basically, this video is going to go more into exposing the wickedness of Esau, Edom, which are the so-called white people, okay? And, during the time of slavery and post-slavery, slaves were often killed, and they would make clothes or leather clothes out of us using our skin. This happened to Israelite babies. When I say Israelite, I speak of the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Indians, and them whose father's lineage on their father's side goes back to a so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian, because the man carries the seed. Therefore, your nationality is based upon who your father is. So during the time of slavery, they would kill the slaves, so-called white people. They would kill the slaves, and they would make leather clothing out of us using our skin. This included our babies, our grandparents, our parents, as well as the individuals, slaves themselves. They made leather coats out of us, leather seats, some chair cushions, like certain chair cushions or whatnot, was made from slave hair. Some of the the cushions inside of couches was made from slave hair. So these devils, they have to be recompensed for this. And Lord's will, if we're of the elect, the Lord is going to give his elect men spiritual power to execute vengeance upon the heathen, first and foremost, starting with the so-called white man. So what you see on my screen right here is called leather shoes. But these are not just leather shoes, as if it wasn't bad enough that it was, leather shoes made from alligator skin, in which they used Israelite babies to catch alligators in order to cut the skin off the alligators and make leather clothing out of them. But these leather shoes are made from the skins of slaves, and not just any old slaves, but Israelite slaves. Okay, so many horrendous acts have been done upon our nation from the time of slavery, even up until now. Okay, so on the screen here, you see leather shoes made from the skin of slaves. And this is not by coincidence. I don't think they're gonna let me, enlarge the picture. But this just goes to show you that the Lord's wrath was greatly kindled against us, And a matter of fact, in the book of Matthew, because our people did put the curse upon themselves, right? Before Pilate went to go crucify Yahushua, what did our people say to Pilate? They said, crucify him, crucify him. Let Yahushua's blood be on their hands and upon their kids. Let Yahushua's blood be upon them and upon their kids. So our people put a curse upon themselves by having Yahushua murdered. Okay? And the reason why our people hated Yahushua was because Yahushua was constantly getting on our people for their sins and their transgressions and their wrongdoings. So Yahushua was deemed as somebody who could not fit into a wicked world, because Yahushua was righteous his whole entire life, and the deeds of our people have been found out to be wicked. So our people put this curse upon themselves. So what happened? As soon as the Heavenly Father allowed the so-called white man to put us into slavery, what happened? All kind of horrendous and terrible things happened to us during the time of slavery. Buck breaking, women getting raped, whether if it's in their butt or in their vagina or in their mouth, the pair of anguish, our children being taken away from us and being prostituted to other slave owners for sex slaves. And I'm talking about Israelite children from the age of 5 and 6 and 7, whether male or female, okay? Israelite babies being fed to alligators, to catch alligators, to make leather clothing. Israelites being killed so their hair can be cut off their head and be used to make couches, cushions and couches. We were, brutally whipped, tortured. All kinds of inhumane things happened to us during the time of slavery. With that being said, this is the book of 2 Peter 3:1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance. And here's an example of the Lord stirring up our pure minds by the way of remembrance. And these devils are so proud that they even uploaded these kind of pictures to the internet. But little do they know, the Most High programmed it in their mind to upload these pictures so we can use these pictures for further edification and to stir up our pure minds to remind each other as to what happened to us during the time of slavery. You see, our people want to forget about slavery. They want to, forget all the horrendous and the humiliating and embarrassing things that happened to them during the time of slavery. But no matter how far you try to run away from your past and the things that happened to you, it will only catch up to you again and tackle you to the ground until you acknowledge the fact that you were once a slave and that, whether if you were male or female, you were raped by your slave owner, you were degraded, the Israelite man was castrated, his rod was chopped off, his nuts was chopped off, smearing lipstick on the little Israelite boys and having sex with them. Having sex with our 5 and 6 year old sons, and there was nothing we could do about it. The times when we had to work out in the field, we were starving, we were hungry, we were thirsty, we were hot. And if we were caught eating anything while we were starving, even if we went 3 days without food or water, guess what? We were hung and whipped. And then they would put lemon on our wounds. Okay? Just check out Derby's dose, which was administered by a slave owner by the name of Thomas Thistlewood, okay? Edomite that came from Britain and became a slave overseer and a plantation owner eventually, okay? If any of the slaves were caught eating sugar canes or the fruits of the field, the slave was tied down and they would have another slave defecate or take a crap in the slave's mouth, and the slave was gagged for hours. Okay? So these devils have never loved us. When I say devils, I speak of the wicked. When I say the wicked, I speak of the Edomites. When I say the Edomites, I'm talking about your so-called white people, okay? These devils have never loved us, and they never will. Goes back to the Garden of Eden, when the Lord told the serpent, which was the so-called white man at the time, when he actually had melanin in his skin, and the Lord basically told the serpent that he would put enmity between them and the woman being the Israelites, okay? When you look up the word enmity, it means aggression, hatred, okay? So there will always be aggression and hatred between our nation. Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiastes 3 verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, require of that which is past. Okay, this is a part of the past right here. Okay, Jake, you can't hide from your past. This is the part of the past right here. You know, here it is. These crackers used to make leather shoes out of your skin and out of your kids' skin during the time of slavery. But you want to be you want to be buddy with the fucking devil. You want to hold this man's hand. You want him to make it after he don't had another slave shit in your mouth. And that's why 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed on this side. But the elect is going to be delivered. Okay? When that time comes, the Lord is going to give his elect men spiritual power, and he's going to give us spiritual power to get vengeance on our enemies. All we got to do is be patient and continue to wait for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.